Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
Maybe you need a timeout.
Welcome to the Luke and Rory podcast. Here are two guys, knuckleheads if you may, who jump in front of a camera and do a Facebook Live show.
You know, it's exciting.
They've decided to take that Facebook Live show and put it into a podcast.
Oh, good for you.
Why? Because can you really get enough of Luke and Rory?
That's a good one.
Meet Luke Weaver, who's known for his dead sexy hair.
You are an awful man. You are truly a disappointment to us all.
Meet Rory Pitts, who's never found an apple cup he can't be disappointed about.
I'm telling you, that man does not look stable.
Two guys who went to the same high school, love the same music, love sports, love movies, love their families.
Look at these clowns. Hand-picked monkeys.
All right, looks like the boys are caffeinated and ready to go.
Come on, get some coffee. You want some coffee?
That's enough nonsense. Now let's join the show.
Sound good?
Dude, sure.
Oh my gosh.
Wanaka, we haven't even started and you're inappropriate.
Oh, yes, Paul. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, everyone.
Let's jump right on there, Paul. Go Cougs, baby. That's right. 7 p.m. tonight. Here, I thought I was going to go home at a reasonable time. I ain't going home at a reasonable time tonight. I already told the missus.
I love that.
Cougs are starting at 7, so I'm going to be late.
Yeah. Don't keep dinner warm.
Yeah, nope, not at all. Wanaka says they make a cream for your burning.
Yeah.
That's true.
A cream for a lot of things.
That's true. But inflation has gone up, so it's, you know,
you got to
figure out what are you going to pay your house or get the cream. I mean,
nice cold bath will also do the trick.
Oh, Paul's going to be at work. I'm sorry, dude. Well, I know what Paul's going to be doing.
He's going
to be saving people with one hand, and he's going to be watching his phone with the other hand.
Yeah. Trying to save people with one hand. Dude, whole Eastern Washington thing tonight. You can Gonzaga at 4:30, followed up by the Cougs at 7.
I know.
It's going to be great. Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Live with Luke and Rory. I'm Luke. This guy right here, the man, the myth, the legend. That's Rory.
So true.
Thanks for joining us this morning. We're going to get after it. And then
we're back home.
We are back.
We're back home. It was great to hang out with Dan last week at the Kids Have Great Escape.
Yeah.
It was nice to take the show on the road.
Dude, I really enjoyed that.
That was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Dan was a good time. So good to catch up with an old Bulldog alum and see what he's up to. And then, did you tell him that we sauntered over to his store afterwards?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, I didn't tell him that. Totally forgot to tell him.
Which I'm still as certain is the old Suncoast.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is. I remember going in there as a teenager and just being wowed by everything, but thinking, I don't need any of this.
Dude, the VHSs. But remember that it was just lined with VHS tapes.
Oh, my gosh. I watched.
Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember the old Suncoast where you go buy movies?
Like in the Kids at Mall?
So many of these things, we're going to go off on a tangent. Many of these things, now that I'm thinking about that.
Electric Coffee House, be here.
Yeah, that have like the nostalgia, right? Mm-hmm. Nostalgia for me is an addiction. Like I go down a rabbit hole of nostalgia. I can't stop once I've started. It stings.
Let me tell you. You keep on going there. I'm going to show you the nostalgia that I went down here. Like, there's things that we need to do for our business. There's letters that we need to write. There's CMEs we need to put out. There's all this kind of stuff. You know what I did for 2.5 hours yesterday?
Yeah.
I went through. I have 3 Spotify accounts. I did not know this. I had 3 Spotify accounts. So I went through and I condensed them all into one.
You'd be the one, dude.
So I spent 2.5 hours. But talk about nostalgia, man. Post-grunge society, best 90s rock.
Yeah.
Smells like grunge. This is what took me down the rabbit hole. Is I made a class of 94 reunion, and I'll just tell you, there is 12 hours of music on that playlist.
So we have Amazon Music, and they have the rediscover.
Yes.
So like you go to like rediscover the 90s grunge and all that kind of stuff. And the thing I love about that is if I just like hit play on that and let it go, like there's always a song or two that pops up that I'm like, dude, I totally forgot about this.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Now I'm stuck. Now I'm hosed for the next couple hours.
Yeah. So I got the other 2 accounts closed. One of them, I don't know why I opened. The other one was my original one, but it's a weird username. And I'm like, I'm going to go. So I've got my username. I got my name. There was a time, when we first started doing all this internet stuff, there was a time where it's like, I'm going to be, Coffee Fan 27 or something. And then I thought, oh man, I probably should grab my name. So
when we were younger, dude, did you ever have AOL Instant Messenger?
Oh yeah.
The stupid names that you'd come up with that were just like incognito, like to not be yourself. Like, oh, dude, I would stay. So you weren't a single guy at that time when AIM.
Reefer Madness 69.
My buddy David was much girth 22. He's talking to girls in chat rooms.
See, and that's something I miss about being young.
Oh, dude,
is I can't be super inappropriate anymore.
Well, and also just the dumb things that we thought were cool. Like, did you ever do music on your voice message?
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, dude, it would be like it'd be like PM Dawn or Shy or something, and then I'd come in and be like, "Hey." With some pillow talk voice.
Did you ever do your?
Sorry,
ever do
I can't
your
get to the phone right now. Ladies, you know what to do. Gentlemen, just go ahead and hang up. And then it would come back in with Boys to Men.
Oh my gosh, what a dork! Did you ever do that one thing with your voicemail where you would, hello?
Oh God, yeah.
Huh? Just messing with
Hilarious.
you. I know.
Yeah. My dad was so mad. I couldn't. So we had the answering machine, right? And so I changed the answering machine. We were back then. We were like going to church and stuff, right? And I changed the answering machine, and this is what it was. I went. I couldn't do it. I had this voice. It would like beep, and I go, "Hi, you've reached the hottest 1-900 service in America." And then I went into this bit. I'm like, "Come here for all your naughty treats and blah." And then I go, "Oh, sorry, that was the voicemail for our other line. You've reached the Weavers." So I leave a message.
It was your family one?
Yeah. So it was just my dad and I, right? So then one day we get come home. There's dad's he checks the answer machine. There's messages, and it was one of the pastors at church. And the pastor goes, "Well, looks like we might have some lost wandering sheep." And my dad's like, "What?" He's like, all night. He's like, "That was the weirdest, whatever." And so he tells me about it, and I'm like, "Oh, that's weird." And I kind of got this look on my face, and then he finally gets up and he goes over and he hits check the outgoing message, and he's just listening and he's looking at me and he's just.
It's so funny that you talk about that.
That was so cool, dude.
You talk about that with your dad. I think I tried to do something silly with our home answering machine. So kids out there who don't know, there was a time where we actually had units. That
big old unit with a play button.
That you put two cassettes in.
Yeah.
One cassette was the outgoing message. The other cassette took all of the other messages.
Yeah.
And so I tried to be cute. I can't remember what it was I did, but I tried to be cute and funny and whatever. And my dad, he hears it. He's like, "Nope, change that right now.
Just happening.
You've reached the Pitts family, or you've reached. I think it was you've reached Rory, and Russell.
Rory and Russell.
Yeah,
sounds like a law firm, dude.
I know.
They should call the offices Rory, and Russell.
Exactly. But it's funny how our dads were just like, "Nope."
Yeah.
And here we are. Here, you and me, we're like.
My dad actually.
Let's think about it a little bit, kids. But our dads, nope.
My dad actually, I think he left it for a while. He thought it was funny. My dad was kind of wild. He was just like, "You're an idiot," but he left it for a while. This is the same dad, kid you not. Justin and I, my best friend growing up, we lived on Mason Lake, so we would come home real late, and we'd be straight, in the summer, straight down to the dock and jump into the water, right?
Yeah.
So we used to go down midnight, 1 a.m, or whatever. And just skinny dip.
A little dude skinny dipping?
Yeah, just strip down and jump in. And my dad takes a photo one day of Justin and I at the end of the dock, bare asses, dude, just steps. And we're looking at each other, and also a flash goes off.
Please tell me that picture is still somewhere.
So yeah. So then one day, this is what happens. Dad, if you're ever watching this, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to call him and we'll talk about this because he still has the picture. But so then one day, my girlfriend that I'm dating at the time, she comes over to the house, and we got family photos and stuff on the wall. And she's looking down. She's kind of looking at the wall, looking at photos. And all of a sudden, I see her and get this embarrassment. Starts to walk away. And I walk over there. Dad has intentionally, he switched out a photo for an 8x10 of Justin and I's bare asses. She just sees, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" All the things, dude.
See, that's the thing. Could you imagine if you were single again? Let's say for some reason.
Yes. No. Let's keep going with this fantasy.
So for some reason you're single again. And
kidding, babe, love you.
I've seen these funny memes where so women will put on there say, "All men want is this," and it's a TV, a pizza box, a video game system, and a beanbag chair. Yeah. And another guy's like, Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Nailed it. I told you the day we watched that comedian a few days ago, Leanne Morgan on Netflix. If you guys haven't watched, she's a Southern gal from Tennessee, thick Tennessee accent. Hilarious. She's 57. She got there. But like, you think that some of the things that you do with your spouse are like unique and special, and then you listen to a comedian. She's like, yeah. So my husband will just like, she says this thing like in the kitchen the other day, and just walks over and just puts his hand on my left boob. Doesn't say anything, and then a minute later, it's like, "What's for breakfast, babe?" And she just stands there, and I'm like, "Eggs," and he's like, "Yeah." And then Rachel's just looking at me, and we're just dying laughing. I'm like, "So we all do that." At least this guy and I do.
Can't confirm nor deny.
And then she's like, "We're laying in bed like the other night," and he's just laser focused on his phone, looking at sports or whatever the hell he looks at, and he goes, and I'm like tired, and I read for a couple minutes. I turn my light up and I go to bed, and and the light going off reminds him that I'm there. And next thing you know, there's a hand on my boob, and he very romantically leans over and goes, "Want to do it?" And I was like, "Me and this guy? All right." Oh, dude, Paul, Little Hoquiam, dude, absolutely,
Little Hoquiam.
Little Hoquiam, isn't that out? Like Mason.
That sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
I know there's Oakland Bay out there, Shelton.
Yeah, it's out there. Little Hoquiam's on the way to Shelton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway,
what's this mean? B-O
Pohika? I don't even know.
It's got to be an acronym for something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say bear.
What were we talking about? I
don't know.
Oh my goodness. Don't know. All right, man. We're going to entertain ourselves this whole time.
That's true. It's part of Mason. You know what? That sounds so freaking familiar.
It is part of Mason. It's the other side down on, I think, towards Simpson.
Dude, we were talking about this the other day. Mason Lake, easily $1.5 million houses out there now.
I know. I grew up on that lake.
That is stupid.
When my dad sold the house out there, which he still regrets to this day, $150,000.
Bend over. Here it comes again. Messenger
handle.
Oh.
Goodness sake. I think we talked, Paul. Sounds familiar. Oh, my God. We're in the same chat room. Anywho, what do we got, man? Hey, listen, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. It is the best day of the year.
Oh.
Merry freaking Christmas.
I totally forgot. This is a national religious holiday for this guy.
Oh my God.
I just come along for the wings and beer.
I'm already like laser focused on the tournament. Today is the opening. Bird and Sam and I have been all morning just thumbs burning.
It's so funny because I've got a list of things because I'm bringing my laptop. I got a list of things. I'm like, I'll talk to Luke about this. I'll talk to Luke about this. I'll talk to Luke about this. I'll be lucky if we get one thing accomplished.
Today's the day to get things by me. Like, hey, I was thinking about getting a new car on the company card. What do you think? Absolutely. Rory, when did you get the DeLorean?
You gave me permission on Thursday, remember?
Why haven't I seen my paycheck?
Because I spent it.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Today's tournament day. I'm excited.
I'll tell you this much. I literally hardly know anything about what's going on. I got done doing what I was doing last night for work, and Christy was out on the couch. She's doing schoolwork. This is probably her hardest quarter. This quarter. She's got 2 quarters left, and she's done. She graduated. She'll get her degree, graphic design, everything. And
good, we need her. And
so she looked like a drunken sailor yesterday because she'd just been through the ringer trying to get things ready and stuff
trying to keep up with you.
Yeah. and I even asked her, I said, hey, you want some Jameson whiskey? I got some in the freezer. I'll pour you some right now. She's like, no.
Does she ever have Jameson?
No.
Oh, gosh, I was about to just elevate my day.
Awesome. Well,
so I was waiting on pins and needles for the answer.
No. Which, side note, my daughter drove from Tahuya to Sumner.
While drinking
to
Jameson.
Port Orchard. Back to Tahuya yesterday. She did 3 hours of driving total. And we got home. I said, you want me to pour you a drink? And she's like, maybe. And she's 16.
You earned it.
But she did good. I mean, if you can make it through Tacoma and all those different freaking merging and unmerging and this exit and that exit. So anyways, that's the side.
Back to the Christy.
So I get out there and I sit on the couch last night. And I'm just
weird.
I'm thumbing through my phone. And then all of a sudden I went, crap. I got to get my bracket done.
Yeah.
So I sat there and I went through everything and I tried to make the best educated decisions I could based off of the knowledge that I had in the app there. And I picked UConn.
That's what I ended up with. I just think they're too good, man.
Yep.
So balanced.
What the hell did I?
You said UConn.
Woo! UConn.
Yeah.
What did I do?
Did we do jazz hands?
I grabbed my phone. I did this. Bro, I don't know. I can't even. Well, that's excitement. But I can. Let's see. I can pull this up real quick.
Number one.
So I can tell you that I'm probably going to piss off some Coug fans. Oh, by the way.
Did you pick Drake?
Side note. How is it over at Montlake?
Oh my gosh.
I didn't find that out till last night. And I watched a little bit. They kind of caught him at the airport.
Well, then I found out that apparently Jed Fish, the new football coach, they're like, I mean, he's like saying all the right things, but like there's a chance that the Florida job comes open, and he's a Florida guy, and like I guess the inner circles are saying if Florida came open and it was offered to Fish, he's gone. Like
this year, or are they going to have one season and then
might have a season? Yeah, they're like anytime it came open. If it came open now, he'd be gone.
Oh my gosh, I can't blame him.
Yeah.
Let's see. So real quick, okay. Oh my gosh, so Bird's the only one that's got North Carolina. Everybody in our group,
which is funny because initially I was going to North Carolina and Bird told me I was crazy, and then we flopped. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. Just a couple of exciting things here. I got the Cougs winning in the first round. I have to pick the Cougs in the first round. I don't think they go further than that.
Hey, they made it.
Everything is locked. Go figure. And the other one is
Paul has Cougs all the way.
Yeah. And the other one is all you Gonzaga fans. I got them beating McNeese,
losing to Kansas,
but loses to Kansas.
I have them beating Kansas and losing to Purdue in 16.
Okay.
Only reason this is Kansas' star big man is out injured. So
okay.
If they're going to knock him off.
So who do you? So I'll just tell you guys my final four here. I don't
know much, Paul.
I got UConn versus Creighton.
Creighton. The Blue Jays, bro.
And what the hell? Where did it go? Why is it not showing the? Oh, there you go. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, I'm sorry. My final four: UConn over UNC.
Yep.
And I got Creighton over UK, Kentucky.
I believe I have
not the United Kingdom. And then I've got the Huskies.
I got UConn over North Carolina. I think I have Purdue over. Is it Illinois or? Anyway.
I love it. Paul says Cougs all the way, but then he says, "What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean you're not taking the Cougs?"
WSU in Wisconsin. The Cougs versus the Badgers.
So there's a difference between my heart and actually winning the thing.
Yeah.
No, and the thing is, it's good. The Cougs have. It's been. I haven't been paying really close attention to it. I've just been. If I see a score, I'm like, oh, that's great. But it's cool to see them back in there after so many years.
They were in there was with Derek Lowe, Kyle Weaver, Aaron Baines.
That was such a fun team.
Tony Bennett
watch.
was the coach.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And then Tony Bennett left us,
bro. Well, then he got kicked in the teeth this year.
Well,
you see that?
He get kicks. He's getting kicked in the teeth every year that he's been there.
Well, they won the title 4 years ago.
They won the title?
Yeah, they won the whole thing.
See how much I pay attention?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
5
they
years
did.
Ago. He's got Jacob Coffey from Seattle coming in.
I don't know enough to win loyalty.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Have you ever seen that Peyton Manning bit with Jason Sudeikis as a sportscaster and Amy Poehler? And it's he's like, "Welcome back to the March Madness, blah 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 blah." Like, and he's like, "We have the brackets in full swing. We're into the Final Four." And he's like 25,000 brackets, and we narrowed down to the two best, and we have those people here. Welcome, Jim, whatever. He's a writer for such and such sports, the author of the book March Madness, ABC, A to Z, blah blah. Mm-hmm. And then he's just like, and then Amy Poehler's character, he's like, Lily, whoever, the receptionist at Teen Vogue magazine. Jim here is 58-2 in his bracket, and Lily is 60-0 going into that. And so they're like, Jim, why did you pick? And he's just like, well, I just figured the matchups, this and that, and blah blah. I'm glad I got that one right. He's like, Lily got that one right too. Why did you get that one right? Or what were you thinking going into that? And she's like, well, first of all, I thought the colors for so and so all wrong. They should know better. Like, and it's just this whole thing. And he's just, the more they get to the the why, and then so she's like, they go the best one. She's like, the Bulldogs of Butler knocked off the Terrapins of Maryland, and Jim, what'd you do? And he's like, well, this and that. And he's like, what about you, Lily? And she's like, well, aren't the Bulldogs just the cutest little thing? What's cuter than a bulldog? And she's like, and he goes, so you went with the Bulldog because they're the cutest? And she's like, absolutely. And then she goes, thank goodness the Terrapin wasn't a turtle because the only thing cuter than a bulldog is a turtle. And he goes, Terrapin is a turtle. And she's like, no kidding. Glad I didn't know that. and then the announcer goes, Jim, looks like you Peyton Manning that one. And Jim's like, what do you mean? And he's just like, oh, Peyton Manning, like great regular season and then falter at the end. And he's like, he doesn't do that. And like they get this whole argument, and then oh god, it's so funny. And then everything goes to this whole Peyton Manning thing. It's just like, well,
See, that's funny. That's Saturday Night Funny right there.
Oh my gosh, he does this thing about Peyton Manning, and then he's just like, he's really handsome, good looking guy. That guy. Thank God he's not into Peyton Manning. Look like Peyton Manning, and then Peyton Manning's character's like, what do you mean? He's a good looking guy.
I still love the Peyton Manning's skit where he's out there with the youth. And he's out there trying to teach him.
It's the same SNL episode.
Yeah. And he's just
hot route.
Yeah, just drilling the kids. Pick it up.
Yeah. He puts him in the porta-john, dude. And the kid goes to peek and he throws a football. He's like, no one said you could come out. Oh my gosh, dude. That's one of the best SNLs ever.
Oh gosh. Paul says, I am the Les Nessman of basketball. That is an old reference right there, my friend.
Yeah.
Old reference.
Oh my gosh. Hey, what do we want to talk about serious? Do you want to talk about the NAR thing? I thought about that.
No, not really.
Okay, good. Moving along.
Not really. I mean, you know what? We can
No, we don't. We're not.
You don't want to touch on it?
We'll talk about it next week.
You know what I was thinking? We might want to get your wife on the show because she needs to do her mortgage time soon. And I think that'd be a good discussion because that's something that...
Yeah, because they've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is there's reasons why.
Yeah.
Buyers,
I'll talk to her. Yeah, let's get her on.
Well, hey, I found this article and I saved it because I wanted to talk about it with you. And while you're doing that, I'll pull up the article. The article is, and you have to see the comments because I got to read the article.
Oh, you're in the reader.
What your music taste actually says about your personality according to science. And so
you are as crazy as we thought you were.
So pretty much. Let me see. When we choose music, we often choose music by people who we think are like us. A 2020 study showed. So, for example, David Bowie. I'm in trouble. Yeah. So David Bowie fans are drawn to him because of his slight weirdness and neuroticism, and Radiohead fans are drawn to the band because of their open experimental nature. This research is based on 80,000 fans of 50 famous musicians. So Marvin Gaye fans tend to be agreeable.
That's interesting.
Like the public persona of the musician, where Ozzy Osbourne fans tend to be more obnoxious and disagreeable.
Science.
Exactly. David Greenberg of Bar-Ilan University said, in today's world where social divisions are increasing, our studies are showing us how music can be a common denominator to bring people together. That's a beautiful picture of Ozzy right there.
I love Oz.
You like big bass and cannot lie?
I like big bass and I cannot
Big bass
lie.
lines are an unavoidable feature of modern music, but you might be surprised by what a fondness for bass lines says about your personality. A 1997 study in the journal Personality and Individual Differences, I got to get that journal, by the way, found that men are more likely than women to enjoy music with exaggerated bass. I would
so
agree
are
with that.
extroverts.
So are extroverts, and also people who are psychotic.
You got me. You got me. You know what's crazy is I'm not a big, I always when you would, especially when it was a big thing when we were in high school.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The boom. You hear the trunk rattle.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It sounds terrible. I'm like, can we have some balance here? Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is whenever I would hear that, you'd always hear the license plate frame.
Yeah.
Like, fix that.
I would rather have a balanced sound.
Results showed that psychoticism, gender, and extroversion are all positively related to preference for enhanced bass. Music to be murdered by, you ask?
Oh my gosh.
Real-life psychopaths are not like the classical music-loving Hannibal Lecter and are actually more likely to enjoy retro rap.
Holy cow, dude.
No Diggity and Eminem's Lose Yourself were enjoyed by people with the highest scores for psychopathy in a 2017.
Maverick loves Lose Yourself.
Oh my gosh. The least psychopathic people enjoyed Sia's Titanium and My Sharona by the Knack.
What if you like both of those songs? Does it balance me out or what?
Let's see.
9 Coronas.
The research was part of a preliminary unpublished study by New York University in 2017, which hoped to find a way to identify psychopaths without their consent.
All right, Minority Report.
which focused on 260 songs and 200 volunteers who had also self-administered a How do you pronounce that? Psychopathy?
Psychopathy?
Psychopathy? Test? Yeah. The media portrays psychopaths as axe murderers and serial killers, but the reality is they are not obvious. They are not like the Joker in Batman.
It reminds me of. Did you ever see American Psycho?
Yeah.
Christian Bale.
Oh yeah.
I love at the end though. He's just like, it doesn't matter what goes on in your head. No one knows. You know, it's like this whole idea. Like you can be an absolute psycho killer in your brain, but if you're not acting on it, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yep. Let's see. Empathetic people prefer mellow music. A 2015 study by musician and researcher David Greenberg, who has performed multiple studies into music preferences but also performs as a jazz musician, found that the way we think is strongly linked to music tastes. The research with volunteers found a stark divide between empathetic people and systematizers who think of things in a more machine-like way. The research found that people who are more empathetic prefer mellow music, R&B, soul, and soft rock. People who are more systematizing, less emotional, tend to prefer intense music, including punk, heavy metal, and hard rock. Nailed it! Violent music doesn't mean you're violent. Listening to violent music, such as extreme heavy metal, doesn't mean people are violent, and instead it's a geeky hobby like battle reenactments.
Don't ask the board of deacons at my church growing up.
Boy,
music is from the devil.
All I can think about is that comic book guy from The Simpsons. Who's in it? He's probably in his basement listening. But yeah, he ain't gonna do a thing. Let's see. A study played one particular horrific track to listeners, and then tested how desensitized they were to violence. Then compared the results to what happened when they listened to "Happy" by Pharrell Williams. Viewers were shown violence-related images to see if they were desensitized by the song "Eaten by Bloodbath," which revolves around a real-world case in which a man killed and ate a voluntary victim in Germany in 2001.
Of course it was in Germany. Voluntary victim?
Voluntary victim, yep. The researchers found no evidence that the music desensitized listeners. The fans are nice people. They're not going to go out and hurt someone. The dominant emotional response to this music is joy and empowerment. And I think that to listen to this music and to transform it into an empowering, beautiful experience, that's an amazing thing.
A voluntary victim.
A voluntary victim.
Oh my gosh, what is this, like old Norway, dude?
I am not volunteering.
You're sacrificing you to Odin. It's an honor. What?
Let's get, Paul, we got your commentary. Science.
Yeah.
Stranglehold.
Oh my gosh. The album Sports, Huey Lewis, really? Yeah.
Yeah. That is one of the best scenes of cinema history.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's just talking about that. And did you see that Huey Lewis made a parody of that years later?
Yes.
So good.
Did you know that, you know how Huey Lewis...
I love that album, by the way. That's one of my favorites.
It's a great album. You know Huey Lewis, is in Back to the Future?
Yep.
Did you know he didn't want to do it? Like, he initially he had a hard time with it. I've seen him talk about it because he had this rock and roll image, like wild hair and stuff.
Yes,
and he's like this geek, and he was like afraid, like it would like paint his image different, And finally, he was like, get over it, have fun with it. And so, but he initially was trying not.
I think I remember hearing that, but I mean, it worked out great for him.
Yeah, and that song, yeah. So anyway,
bro, so I watched a movie the other day. You ever seen Rob Roy?
Oh, good for you. Yes, I've seen Rob Roy. You've never seen Rob Roy?
Not until 3 days ago.
Oh, you ready to burn the castle down 10 minutes into it, or what?
Let me tell you, Tim Roth, I think that's his name, right?
Gosh, he's so good at being...
He is... That's one of the most evil characters in cinema history. That guy...
Yeah.
If you guys...
I can't believe you've never seen Rob Roy before.
I'd never seen it before. I was too afraid to see Quagga and Jin.
Well, an Irishman.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But it was a good movie. Christy's asking me because I told her I watched it. So what's it like? I said, well, it's Braveheart but Scottish.
Yeah.
And a little more intense.
Yeah. Jeez,
But it was good. I enjoyed it. I mean, I like watching those old movies, especially ones I haven't seen. But Tim Roth,
There's
man,
some
creepy as hell, dude.
we're at the point the girls have asked to watch Braveheart, and I'm like,
They can handle it.
yep. I'm like, yep, we're ready for that. You know, Maddie's 18; she can do whatever the hell she wants. But I'm done caring. I've done my best. No,
All men die, few men truly ever lived.
yeah,
That hurts, dude.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah, dude, I like to go back and watch. I love introducing the kids to movies from my era.
Do you ever introduce them and go, "Oh shit, maybe we're a little too early on this one"?
Yeah, that has happened.
That happened to me with Spaceballs.
That happened to me with Silence of the Lambs. I forgot like 3 scenes, and I was like, Jesus! I'm like trying to turn it off.
My
Like,
goodness.
go out of the room.
I don't even want my adult kids to watch that
I know.
yet.
I just forgot certain things. You know, I was like, oh, how bad can it be? Oh dear God! Like, turns out horrible. No, but like, you know, it's crazy, and I don't know about your kids, but my kids have ended up really preferring movies from like the 80s, 90s, and older.
Yeah.
And they're even seeing it, you know, in their teenage years. Like, everything now is just a freaking copycat of things that were already like. My girls now like Maddie's favorite movie is Ferris Bueller. She was Ferris Bueller for Halloween a couple years ago. They both love Encino Man and Son-in-Law, Pauly Shore movies. Like,
oh yeah,
and they'll walk around quoting it, like, you know, and then like the like father or you know, The Princess Bride. Classic.
Yep.
Anyways, we have a list going of like movies they need to see, you know, with their old man at some point.
Yep.
And so we're kind of like occasionally picking through those, and I want to show them Armageddon simply because I both know that they'll just bawl, absolutely bawl.
I want to watch.
I will too, but
because I haven't seen it in a long time. Dude, that was a magical time. Movies in the 90s. It was just like the testosterone was through the roof.
It was awesome.
Oh man.
Like, even like you say, testosterone through the roof. Like we were like Tim Allen, like, you know, Tim Mitchell, like Home Improvement, like these kind of like. I mean, you can't get away with this stuff now. Like,
well, heck, in the 90s, it was Arnold at his prime. It was Stallone at his prime.
Oh my god.
It was Bruce Willis at his prime.
Oh my god.
It was just, you know, it's the same freaking plot, but a different
setting.
Setting.
Me all fired up, buddy.
Yeah, let's go see this.
Rip my shirt off and flip this table over. And, like, I'm ready. Yes, such good movies in the 80s, 90s. Like, even the kid ones that I think about now, like The Dark Crystal, you know, or watching like Fraggle Rock and stuff, and I'm like, shows now just suck. Like, I know I sound like my dad, but I'm just like, you know, my mom, like an old man. Like,
you do.
Man, yeah, that's fine.
Paul said, my parents started to let us watch Animal House, turned it off when they pulled.
Or Fast Times at Ridgemont High, dude. Like,
which is one of the best.
But like some of these movies,
the scene, if you know,
yeah,
you know,
like Fast
the
Times,
scene.
and like I'm like champing at the bit for my kids to be old enough to be able to watch it with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of those you just want to watch your kids. Like, you just wait. I'm going to show you the greatest movie ever.
I'm a little sad that my 3 older kids at one point over the past 6 months have told me, so I watched Ace Ventura the other day, or so I watched Dumb and Dumber the other day, and they all say the same thing. I realize I'm just watching a movie about dad. Because I quoted to this day I still quote stuff from those movies, and it's like
my kids.
We didn't watch it together.
I know. We watched Dumb and Dumber about a year ago. The kids absolutely were dying.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
They love the Back to the Future movies.
Speaking of that, I watched the other day Ricky Stenicki.
Oh my god!
So, like I explained to my brother, because my brother and I were big fans of those.
By the
Fairley Brothers movies.
The one thing I'm irritated with is that they even put the movie out instead of just sending that idea in private guy code to all of us out there to come up with some random high school. Like, when I saw the premise of it, I was like, these are the smartest men to ever live.
I know.
I know. Like, we need to build an idol to these men.
And the thing is that they didn't just come up with this idea. Yeah. There are dudes out there. There has to be dudes out there that have done this.
Yes.
Ricky's gosh.
Sick again, dude.
Oh my god. So
did you like it?
Yeah, Paul knows.
Yeah.
Paul knows what we're talking about. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Did you like it?
So, yes, I definitely know I'm getting older because it's like Dumb and Dumber, Me, Myself, and Irene.
Me, Myself, and Irene.
All of those like Fairly Brothers type of movies that we grew up with in the 90s. It's like that, but more crude, if you can imagine that.
Cena's good at the crude stuff.
Oh my gosh. So don't watch it with the kids. Maybe not even watch it with the teens, but it's funny. It's funny.
That's like I don't like I really liked the Hangover, the first Hangover movie.
Yes.
Hated them after that. I thought they were just going to crude humor to try to get a laugh.
Yeah.
There's no substance to it.
And that's part of. I mean, that is part of the problem with this movie is that it's there's a lot of crude. Like I'm okay with crude. It makes me laugh, but when it's too much, you're kind of like, okay, the joke, I get it. You know, I mean, his character is Rock Hard Rod. That's his stage name.
I remember that. Yeah.
And it's just like. Yeah. Okay, we get it. 90 minutes later, and
Rock Hard. That was great about the 90s too. Is like you had, like think about Jim Carrey in the 90s.
Oh,
like,
bro,
has there been a greater run in Hollywood since like the golden era? Maybe like when you had, like when it was not as many people, whatever, the 50s, 60s. Than Jim Carrey had in the 90s. I mean, the guy could do no wrong for a stretch there. Like, I mean,
even the funny thing is I didn't care a lot for Cable Guy.
Oh, and I was going to ask that because I love Cable Guy.
When I first watched it, I didn't care for it because I didn't quite understand.
You were getting all the references, maybe.
Well, and the thing was, I was expecting slapstick Jim Carrey like he's been putting out, and that in Living Color, and then when he did that, it was more of a dark humor. Years later, I've seen it. I get it.
I love it.
I don't know if I love it, but I definitely get it.
But I don't know what about it. You don't like Jack Black.
It's got the guy in which freaking Kung Fu Panda 4. Do we need a fourth Kung Fu
Panda?
Yes. Yeah. And he took the Britney Spears song, him and Tenacious D. They took the Hit Me Baby One More Time. They turned into a rock song.
And I'm on the flip side. I love Jack Black.
I can't stand him.
And I've seen him live at a bar in Southern California, and he was just very cool and so nice to everybody.
He's probably a really good dude.
I think he's great, dude. In fact, I was watching School of Rock today by myself because it was on. I would start watching.
I think the funny thing is that his character in The Cable Guy, I think that is what turned me off on Jack Black. Right from the very beginning.
He's a prick.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just kind of like.
And he kind of reminds me, I'll never say who it is, but he kind of reminds me of people that I've known in my life. And
I'm right here, dude.
Yeah. I look in the mirror every day. Paul says, Buckaroo Banzai. I have never seen Buckaroo Banzai. No, I need to see that.
What about, did you like Crocodile Dundee, dude?
It's okay.
It's not a knife.
Yeah.
This is a knife.
Yeah. He says, I grew up with Rob Reiner in the Brat Pack. So, Rob Reiner.
He was an actor.
But he wasn't in the Brat Pack.
I thought he was.
Not Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner is the pain-in-the-ass liberal who was meathead on All in the Family.
Well, he just did that movie that fell flat on its face trying to victimize or villainize Christians.
Yeah, that guy.
I didn't even know that.
Which is a problem because he did freaking Princess Bride.
Yeah, I know.
So he can put out good material. But do you mean Rob Lowe? And actually, I don't even know if Rob Lowe was part of the Brat Pack. Here's the thing. The Brat Pack to me,
Rob Lowe, dude. Yes, yeah. You're talking about like.
He produced the Brat Pack movies. Okay.
Oh, got it.
Okay. So here's the thing for me is I know the Brat Pack is right in Paul's.
Like Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen.
I always looked at those guys
as Dillon,
as the big brothers, the cool kids.
Yeah.
It makes me sad to see them getting old. I don't like
Ralph Macchio. Even Tom Cruise was like on the fringe of that before he
with the Outsiders.
The Outsiders.
Yeah.
With this fangled tooth, all jacked up, and then they all blew up and kind of did their own thing. But Emilio obviously kind of had his own thing with the D2, the Mighty Ducks, and that kind of thing. Charlie Sheen went on a 25-year bender.
Tiger Blood.
Came down with the HIV. Tried to give it to everybody.
It's funny. That's a movie that I don't think I'd seen in a long time, which was Young Guns.
Oh, it's a good one.
And I watched that about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I totally forgot that there's audio from that movie that's in Regulator.
Yep. Regulators. Mount up.
I never heard that, but I always heard. I heard the beginning phrase of just no geek off the street, and I'm thinking, is that
Well, then there's like, have you ever listened to Man New Found Glory?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so
yes, Breakfast Club, 16 Candles. Dude, those movies are 40 years old.
The beginning of New Found Glory's Hit or Miss song, they have the original version. It's hard to find now, but the original version was a single and played on the radio. New Found Glory's big hit that put them on the map. Hit or Miss has got that line from, we were just talking about it, Ralph Macchio and
The Outsiders?
The Outsiders, where he says, nothing gold can stay. Like they use that as the intro in that Hit or Miss song. It's like the mist is what's pretty, all the gold and silver. And he's like, nothing gold can stay. Like that's in the beginning of that song. So
man,
Breakfast Club, 16 Candles.
We're getting old,
bro.
I'm not happy with this at all. I don't like seeing. No, I'm not. I am not happy with this at all. I mean, the 90s were just 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Bro. You know what's weird? I literally yesterday, I was talking to somebody.
Good job.
I know.
You're making progress.
Bro, which, look for miracles every day.
We've been praying for you.
Oh, man. I can feel it. It's irritating. So, no, but I was just thinking about how quickly time goes, right? And someone said something to me about, I remember it was something that it sparked something about when I was in the Marine Corps, and I go, and I was like, oh yeah, no, we used to do that all the time, when I was there 10 years ago or whatever. And then I was like, crap, that was 22 years ago. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is going on in the world? Yeah. 22 years ago. Because I started doing the math. I'm like, wow, 2024. That had to be 2002 when I was living in San Diego. Wow.
Yeah. And look at this comment that Paul has. If Back to the Future came out today, he'd be going back to 1994.
94 was awesome, by the way. 94 was awesome.
Bro, I graduated in 94.
You did?
I am now Marty McFly's dad.
You got married in 94.
No, I got married in 96, but still.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't handle it. I was talking to Christy about this yesterday, actually 2 days ago, when we were out celebrating our 31st first date anniversary. And it seemed like yesterday we went to Pietro's Pizza and mini golf and played Super Mario World and made out in her basement. And it was 31 years ago.
Yeah. 5 kids later.
I know.
Yeah, dude, it's even like think about that, like 94. I have vivid memories of playing like bringing my boombox outside and playing Alice in Chains while I'm shooting baskets in the yard.
Oh my gosh, your boombox.
I know, dude. Playing Alice in Chains while I'm shooting baskets in the yard.
See, kids nowadays, you don't know. Now you bring out your little portable speaker and hook up your iPhone. Back in my day, I had to carry this big ass radio
I had
big.
back problems starting to listen to my music.
Well,
and my parents weren't going to spend any money on a CD, so I'm listening to like Cube 93. I'm waiting for the song to come on so I can hit record.
That's a classic.
And I'm like, Eric Power, stop talking over the intro.
I used to do that all the time. Try and record the latest hit song and everything.
Man. Dude. Crossroads, man.
But then the thing is so you had your cassette thing, your thing filled up with cassettes. Some of them you bought, some of them you recorded, some of them you filmed.
Yeah. Some of you walked out of Sam Goody with them like this in front of you. Because that wouldn't set off the alarm.
But then you weren't cool anymore because you didn't have a book full of CDs.
Oh man,
dude, I had one of those like 52 holders.
To this day, my favorite Christmas present ever was, and I was asking for forever. I saw it at JCPenney. It was this big deal, like, and my parents got it for me. It was a stereo system for my room with the speakers that like. The wires, I can move them around and all that. It was a 5-disc CD changer.
Yes.
Dual cassette and a turntable on top for the vinyls.
Old school there.
I was so stoked, dude. Like, I wouldn't even leave my room. Like, I was so, for many reasons.
This guy's a badass.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, I was so excited.
Go over to Weaver's house to have a party.
We had a good time.
Yeah, now it's just like you grab your freaking smartphone and your portable mini speaker that can, blow up. You could hear I can play music here. You'd hear it in Pioneer Park.
It's funny because my kids, Maddie especially, has gotten pretty old school. So she's got a record player in her room. She listens to a lot of vinyls. And she's like dead serious one day because, getting ready for college. And she looks around her room and she's like, how am I going to get all my stuff to Hawaii? And I was like, you're not. Yeah, I'm like, it stays here. You go.
That's right.
And then so she's like, put them on my record player. And I was like, you know that little MP3 speaker that you got for Christmas? And she goes, I go, that is now your record player. And she's like, this is bogus.
Well, it'll all be here when you get back.
Yeah, it'll be here when you're at home at Christmas.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
Anyway.
Well, so one thing I wanted to chat with you about was all this crap about TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
So I forgot
you wanted to talk about this.
I know we're a little bit behind the times here because I think all this stuff came out on last Friday or something like that, or maybe we had Dan on the show and we didn't want to talk about it then. But Congress has pushed to ban TikTok because ByteDance is a Chinese company that is either owned by the Communist Party of China or they have a financial interest in it. So my question to the audience, the three of you, I think actually the two of you because Luke's right here.
Yeah.
And
Paul.
to you is explain to me why this is a good idea.
That's not a question. You asked for an explanation. That's well, okay, so here's the funny thing, and I sent you a joke about this kind of like because people were so up in arms on social media about this. I'm like, no one gave a crap when so many people like that day were like, the government is overreaching and fascist pigs and yada yada yada. And I was like, why did no one care when they banned Thomas the Train toys because of the lead paint from China? Like, so when that happened, all of you liberals were like, this is a good idea. No lead paint in America. And now you're pissing and moaning. I don't know if you guys remember, but last summer they sent over like 10 balloons over our country trying to capture information and then tried to play it off like, oh, sorry, it was a balloon farm and they escaped. Our bad. Like, baloney. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, you could ban. I don't use TikTok, so that's.
I don't either. I don't either.
The only reason you guys care is because you guys use TikTok, and so you whine. You don't want mommy and daddy to tell you can't play with your favorite toy. Like, that's the only reason anybody cares. That's the only reason you guys care. Not one person has got on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, for that matter, or X or whatever, and given a valid explanation as to why it's a dumb thing to do. It's all just been pissing and moaning because you love TikTok. Like, look, at the end of the day, the world is a bad place. Like, and there are countries that would love to do us harm. None more than our buddies over there that try to send in lead-covered Thomas trains. Like, if they feel it is a information like issue and we're better off not having it, like, they didn't say ban TikTok.
Yeah, they did.
They did. But they said ban TikTok if they don't sell their interest to an American company. Okay, so there's options. I mean, they're giving a second option besides we're just banning it. Okay, and here's the thing: if China doesn't want to give up, okay, that should be an indicator as to why. Like, they have some kind of interest in gathering whatever information. And I love how people are like, "Why do they want my information? Does it matter? My information doesn't matter." All of it matters. All of it matters for logistics, where people are, how they can infiltrate things, what they're using. So I really just don't have a problem. It's not that big of a deal, guys. Like,
no, and here's what Paul says. Paul says, it's a stupid idea from old white guys. China owns us. There are many worse things. Ban their balloons. And Paul says, why is it a good idea? And then he says, stop the flow of fentanyl from China.
I mean, here's the thing, Paul, and this is what I say. What does it matter? Like, this is crazy to think, but there are it's not just old white guys. Okay, they're getting their information from CIA, from the FBI, from the intelligence community, saying this is a concern. Okay, as weird as it is, there are people in our country that know a hell of a lot more than you and I about what's going on in the world and what people's intentions are. And so I was in the military and I worked in informations in the military. There were things that I was told that I wasn't allowed to say that I know now that I'm not allowed to say, that I'm like, that's crazy. And that was on a low level. Like, I wasn't sitting in on cabinet meetings or hanging out with the commandant of the Marine Corps all the time. Like, if the intelligence community is saying, hey, this is a concern, fine, get rid of TikTok. Who cares? Use a different platform. Somebody develop something in America. Then I heard someone complaining about, oh, well, the only people who can buy it in America are Musk or Zuckerberg, that's not fair. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, there's just no appealing or appeasing you. Like, you're complaining about one of them is a conservative and one of them is a liberal, and you don't like either option. So I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Paul says they have all the information they need from so many sources, and he says it's right up there with banning plastic straws. So
I disagree.
I
because
love,
I've seen how what happens with information.
I love the fact that both you and I have different points of view on this because I think it's absolutely stupid that Congress is taking all this time to try and ban TikTok. Because I look at it like this: one, I don't trust the government. I don't trust the government at all. So when they tell me, here's the thing, this is the same. I'm not using our F-bomb. This is the same effing government that when Trump brought up the idea of banning TikTok, and even back then I thought it was a stupid idea. When Trump brought it up, we can't do that. We just can't do that. Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. But now, all of a sudden, it's a great idea to ban TikTok. And again, I still have the same opinion. It's stupid. Why is it stupid? Because
that's what I want to know.
The government, they already own Facebook. They already own Instagram. They already own Twitter. They already own all of our information. And the thing is, they know so much more about us than China will ever know. China knows that our people like to do stupid dances and stupid challenges and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying it. What I'm saying is that TikTok sucks just like Facebook, which we're on right now. And it sucks just like Instagram. And it sucks just like Twitter. The thing that, to me, is I understand that ByteDance is based in China. I understand that the CCP own ByteDance or have a ownership in ByteDance or whatever. But it just pisses me off when people in our country want to start dictating things.
But there has to be in any country, free or not, and that whole thing about like we're free or whatever, we're free to a point. And that's
right. Oh yeah, we're free to a point.
And my whole thing is still, and like I know we have a different opinion on this, but like I've still not heard one argument as to why it's a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? Like I've heard arguments as to worst case scenario if we don't do it.
But why is it a good idea?
Because of worst case scenario. Like here's the thing with the intelligence community here and in China.
Okay.
They are way smarter than you and I. And they're able to take what you think are just dance videos and extract a lot more information than you think.
Sure.
And so if the intelligence community and all these smart people that are advising the government on this are saying, you'd be amazed at what we could do with this information.
These are the same mother effers that were spying on our cell phones and on everything else that freaking Snowden went to Russia to avoid 100%. Anything because he exposed all this. So when it comes to, when I hear stuff from the government and from the, was it NSA, when I hear these intelligence things, I think to myself, okay, it's probably the opposite going on.
But you're like, my point is,
I have big trust issues with our
government. I do too, obviously. You know this. I 100% have big trust issues. But what I'm saying is that regardless of my trust issues or whether I think, I'm looking at like worst case scenario, right? Like no one has provided me with a clear cut, like, well, if they ban it, here's the worst case scenario. And I'm going, oh, okay, I see what you're saying now. I have seen and heard many worst case scenarios on what happens if China continues to receive our information.
So what happens?
I'm just like any kind of things like population studies. I'm just like, if you read some of these reports, maybe we should bring some of these in next week.
Yeah.
What the thing and some of it's very based on is what I've heard. It's just like from like one guy that was on, who was a former intelligence guy, and he was just like, basically what he said is what I just said. You would be amazed that some people just think these just dance videos and whatever. You'd be amazed at the information that an intelligence community can extract about travel patterns and all kinds of things in America that they may be looking at. And if they decided they wanted to have an actual attack or anything like that, or how to shut us down completely by taking out satellites and cyber attacks and that kind of stuff. You would be surprised at what information they can pull from what you think is just social media. And so when I hear that, and then no one has given me a counter to the other side of like worst case scenario if they do it, like what's the worst case scenario? Oh no, you can't make dance videos on TikTok anymore. Well, what a bummer.
Well, here's the thing: is that you have to pull back the curtain. If the intelligence community is going to do this, you have to prove to me, other than just saying it, you have to prove to me And that might mean that, hey, if Facebook wants to pull back the curtain and say, hey, this is the information that we gather, and this is how we know these different patterns, but they won't.
See, this is
Google does the same damn thing, and Google won't tell us.
See, and this, like Paul says, erosion of the First Amendment. I completely disagree. This has nothing to do with free speech. You can still go be a jackass on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter if you want. They're just saying not on this platform because it's owned by a communist entity that is extracting information. This has nothing to do with what you want to say. You still want to walk around and dance like a jackass and say whatever you want to say, still do it. You're just not going to do it on this platform. And so I don't think it's a First Amendment thing at all.
I think it's a waste of time. I honestly,
and it could be a waste of time,
I think it's a
but
stupid
it's not a
waste
First
of
Amendment
time.
thing.
Yes and no. I'm not as strong on it.
So then if the government tells me I can't use an AR-15, well, that's taking away my freedom of speech because I express myself by firing off rounds in my backyard. Like, then we could say everything's a First Amendment. Anytime the government bans something, then they're banning my First Amendment rights.
Oh, sure. But I mean, you have to take in consideration your surroundings and your safety when you're using your AR-15.
100%.
And the thing is when it comes to all these different gun things, the criminals aren't going to follow the rules. The criminals aren't going to follow the law. Ugh.
Yeah, I just don't buy into it being that big of a deal. People are butthurt and that's it.
I feel like it is a complete distraction because I'm with Paul. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's a complete distraction. The government should be focusing on other things. They should be absolutely trying to make our country better in different ways than what they're doing with this whole TikTok thing.
Like Paul, and I love Paul. Don't get me wrong, Paul, you're awesome. But like this whole it's restricting access and blah, blah. Lots of things are restricted access. I can't go certain places at the airport. Like I can't read certain things online. There's certain things. That's why I have my location settings set off on my phone. Like there's restricted access everywhere.
But here's the thing: show the public, show us why it's dangerous to use it. Because here's the thing: if we allow capitalism and the free market to work, people will see what's happening with TikTok and they'll be like, "Oh, I don't want to be part of it."
This is where I start to side with Jack Nicholson and A Few Good Men. Don't question the way in which I provide protection. I want the truth. Yeah, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. I ordered the code red. God damn it. Yeah, it's and this whole thing, show me, yes and no. There's lots of things that I tell people all the time. They're like, I want to know what the CIA knows. No, you don't. The world is much darker than you want to realize. You don't want to know.
But and I think part of the problem for me is that growing up in the 2000s, and you hear some reports, and then come find out later those reports are not true.
Yeah.
Even if they were to show me, I think I would still have trust issues.
But here's my thing, like we say with the elections, I say to my dad, after the Trump thing, and I was like, how much different is your life, Dad? How much worse has your life gotten with President Trump? I'm sorry it's been so rough on you.
Right.
And I look at the TikTokers, I'm like, your life is very tough. I'm so sorry you live in these shackles and bondage of this American society.
Yeah, but I mean, and here's the thing, is there are people on there that actually make a living, and you and I may disagree with that as a way to make a living, but they're making a living on there nonetheless. And
Paul, you're not defending everyone's rights. You're just complaining about TikTok because you like it.
Let's see. You're okay with them restricting my rights, but Hal, when they come to for your rights, I'm defending everyone's rights, even Huskies. Agreed. I hate the fact that I have to defend Huskies too.
Yeah, I disagree with your whole point.
I just my stance is that I get I get that social media. Get that social media can gather so much information. I've watched the different documentaries about Facebook and Google and Instagram and Twitter. I've watched all those things, and it freaked me out for a while. But then I also realized, okay, I can't live in fear that that they can take my data and they can know my patterns, that they'll know that every Thursday I drive here and I go this speed limit and at this time. Okay, fine, whatever. To me, this is a waste of time because
that's fine.
Because Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Google, they gather so much effing information about us, yet we're pissed off that ByteDance is gathering information.
Well, I just again, Paul, we're just gonna have to disagree here because he's like, I'm defending everyone's rights. No, you're not. You're just defending TikTok because you like TikTok. I don't hear you howling about everything else that's restricted.
And don't lie, you like TikTok too. And when the guys send stupid, funny clips. We're like, okay, that's kind of funny.
Who sends me TikToks?
Oh, in our little group.
Oh.
I mean, I think what they do is they send videos that came off of TikTok.
Oh, I didn't even know. I don't have a TikTok.
Oh yeah. Well, no. The thing is, if you play the video at the very end, it'll show the TikTok.
Oh, okay.
The TikTok symbol.
Sorry. It shows you how much I know. That's just my whole thing. And to me, like Paul, and again, like obviously we love Paul, but like, all it sounds like to me is Paul just crying because he loves TikTok. Like, in all honesty, like, and Paul, I'll buy you a beer and we can cry together.
Nathan.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Nathan.
Yeah. Because he's on here.
Jumped in at the wrong time.
What's up, Ritter? Because he's on here like, I'm defending everyone's rights to use TikTok. I don't see you out like marching protests for people. No, you're in the Coogulants, drinking and having a good time. As you should be.
He says I seldom watch TikTok. And again, I had TikTok for about a month. No, that's wrong. Altogether, I've had TikTok for 2 months. I got it back in 2020, and I got it again back in 2020 because I canceled it, then I got it again in 2020.
I haven't had,
and then I haven't
had it for 44 years now.
Magruder says tuck fick fuck.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, Magruder, I say that to all social media platforms. It's not just TikTok.
I just like adapt and overcome. Find something else to put your I don't know.
Nathan uses TikTok.
I just don't. Who cares?
To me,
we gotta go.
To me, it's a waste of time. At the end of the day, my main argument is it's a waste of time. There's other things that you guys should be focusing on. We send you to DC to take care of other things in our country. You're not doing it. You all suck. I still don't trust the government. F you.
So,
counterpoint?
I mean, that's all they do with everything is waste time. And like, it used to be a part-time job.
I'm not using our F-bomb, but man,
now they spend all year just doing this stuff.
Bro, and we still have an election to go through. Paul says exactly right.
I'm not. I'm going underground.
Right. Well, exactly.
Yeah, but then you just say that about everything because everything they do.
I just did.
No, I know. But I'm just saying. But like Paul is still like, they're wasting time with TikTok. They're wasting time with everything.
It's a money grab.
Just watch it and enjoy the show.
Honestly, Nathan, I'm glad you said that because here is what I think is going on. Is I think you've got the powers that be in Silicon Valley. They're getting their ass handed to them by TikTok,
probably
in generating revenue. And so what they're doing is they're going to these senators and these representatives, and they're saying, "Hey, make TikTok go away. Yeah. Let's do some legislation and let's hamper them." Yeah. Because apparently innovation has left the building. If you don't like what TikTok's doing, innovate and be better.
Paul says China's laughing as we waste time debating. China's laughing at everything. They're laughing at Biden. They're laughing at how much money we owe them. They're laughing at the fact that we allow people to have 10 children and we don't kill the girls. Yeah. Like, they're laughing at all kinds of stuff. Who cares?
Yeah, Magruder says it's just another way for your phone to tell you what to do instead of you telling your phone what to do. Again, nailed it. All right, let's wrap this bad boy up. It isn't the issue ownership of the platform. Yeah, that is supposed to be the issue. Yeah. Who will monopolize our wasted time? Luke and Rory will monopolize your wasted time because.
And you know where we'll do it? Not on TikTok.
Nope.
So we're going to do it before or after.
I know that we said this a couple of weeks ago, but it's
love
official.
You, Twyble.
It's official. Oh yeah. We're all about love and beers here.
Yeah.
It is official. Our books came in yesterday.
Yeah, man.
And we now have a ton of these beautiful, Consider It Sold, the complete guide to successfully selling your home by these two handsome guys. And let me tell you, all of the information in here, if you're a first-time home seller, bro, I wish I would have had this back in 06 when I sold my house in Port Orchard.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have known so much better.
I already gave some copies out, man.
Yeah, so I want to. I didn't even show you this. You notice that I changed that on there.
Yeah,
it looks so much better. So I want to give a shout out to our sponsors who are going on this journey with us.
Yeah,
we got JMJ Home Improvements. We've got Mountains to Sound Home Inspector. We got Pristine Air Services HVAC service. We got Tacoma Clean Pro if you need your carpets clean. We got Advanced Septic on board for your septic services.
We were sitting up here earlier.
That's right. You just gave some books to them. And we got Stickles Painting if you need a painter. We've got a very special lender on the back.
Hot sexy.
Right there.
Yeah.
And we also have a very special insurance agent, Mr. Kevin Barquest.
That's our guy.
Thank you so much to the sponsors of this book. We're so excited. There are some of you that are going to be receiving this book here in the next week or two.
Yeah.
And anybody else who is interested in getting one of these books, let me put this up here really quick.
I need a nap.
I know you do. Right there. text Seller Book to 206-207-0291 or scan that code. It'll take you right to our website. Order the book free. It costs you a free $99.
$3.50
We will
free.
literally throw it in the mail and send it your way. Or better yet, let us know you want a book and you want to grab a beer. We'll do that. We'll pay for the beer.
Oh, I was going to say, especially if they're paying. Like,
well,
yeah,
you know,
I might have two.
We're trying to get their business, so we'll pay. We'll pay. But
By the way, last night at midnight, I was like, "Oh, let me check my Facebook memories," because Facebook's not banned.
Yeah.
And this popped up, about scared the hell out of me, dude.
Nathan Jensen says, "I need coffee, bro." True. Oh, what the hell? When was that?
That was in 2020. Yeah. I was like, Jesus, what is that? Oh, it's Rory.
Wow, 2020. Oh,
I think this is
man.
the last time you shaved. No, you shaved a couple years ago, maybe.
I've had a good. Well,
you shaved down a goatee, I think, last
shaved
year.
down to a goatee. Yeah, because Christy has told me that there will be divorce proceedings if I shave my face again, which I will divorce myself too. So.
You look like you're lurking.
Oh, dude, I look like a pedophile. I do. I look like the guy in the van, the white van with the candy.
Got out the sex offender catalog, just trying to match up your picture.
Yeah.
There he is.
There looks like about 5 different people in here.
Pat her ass right there.
Oh, gosh.
All
right, that's it, you guys. Thank you for joining the show today. Thank you for the lively discussion.
Yeah.
And let's go watch some basketball. Let's go eat some food. Let's go drink some beer.
Yeah.
If you are in the area, stop by.
Yeah, we'll be up at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Nobody ever stops by, so I mean, we'll just put it out there again.
Yeah.
In the past, we've put an announcement out there, say, "Hey, come join us," but nobody shows
like
up.
a TikTok banner going down right here.
TikTok
with
banner
with taps playing.
See, you don't even know. What a dumbass right here. All right, you guys, take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic day. Stay out of trouble, and go Cougs.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey,